I caught my own husband's private investigator taking photos of me at my father's grave. The man didn't even have the decency to hide behind a tree. He stood there in his cheap suit, clicking away with a telephoto lens while I sobbed over the freshest dirt in Riverside Cemetery. When our eyes met across the headstones, he had the audacity to give me a little wave. "My name is Sarah, and I thought I knew my husband of 12 years. David was always the jealous type, sure, but I figured that came with being married to someone 15 years younger." He'd question why I took so long at the grocery store or why I laughed at my coworkers' jokes during company parties. I brushed it off as insecurity. Middle-aged men get weird about their pretty wives, right? But this? This was a new level of crazy. My dad had been sick for months. Pancreatic cancer. I'd been driving 2 hours each way to help care for him, staying overnight when he had bad episodes. David complained constantly about my absence, but what choice did I have? Dad was dying, and Mom couldn't handle it alone. The funeral was beautiful. Dad would have loved seeing everyone gathered, sharing stories about his terrible dad jokes and legendary barbecue skills. I was finally finding some peace in saying goodbye when I spotted the photographer lurking near the parking lot. That evening, I confronted David the moment he walked through our door. "Really? A private investigator? At my father's funeral?" He didn't even flinch. Just loosened his tie like he was discussing the weather. "I had to know what you were really doing up there all those nights." The casualness in his voice hit me like a slap. What I was really doing? "David, my father was dying." "So you say." He grabbed a beer from the fridge. "But spending 4 nights a week away from home? Any reasonable husband would have questions. Any reasonable husband would have questions. Like I was some cheating wife instead of a grieving daughter. You thought I was having an affair while caring for my dying father? The investigator confirmed you weren't. So we're good. We're good." As if hiring someone to spy on me during the worst time of my life was just due diligence. I locked myself in our bedroom that night and cried until my eyes burned. Not just for Dad, but for the marriage I thought I had. For the man I thought loved and trusted me. For 12 years of walking on eggshells around his suspicions. The investigator's report arrived 3 days later. David left it on the kitchen counter like a grocery list. 47 pages documenting my every move during Dad's final weeks. Photos of me entering the hospital, leaving CVS with prescription bags, crying in the parking lot of the oncology center. One picture showed me hugging Dad's best friend Frank after the viewing. The caption read, "Subject embracing unknown male, 11:47 p.m. Unknown male. Frank had been like an uncle to me for 20 years. That's when something inside me snapped. I made copies of everything. The photos, the detailed logs, the invoices showing David had been having me followed for 2 months. 2 months while I watched my father waste away, while I held his hand through chemo sessions, while I helped him write letters to his grandchildren he'd never see grow up. Then I got creative. I called David's mother first. Sweet Eleanor, who thought her son could do no wrong. "Hi, Mom Eleanor. I wanted to share some photos from Dad's service with you." I emailed her the investigator's pictures. All of them. Including the ones of me sobbing at the graveside while some stranger documented my grief for money. "David hired someone to take these," I explained when she called back, voice shaking. "He thought I was cheating while caring for Dad." Next, I contacted David's brother Marcus. Then his sister Janet. Then every single person at his accounting firm where he was up for partner. I created a beautiful slideshow presentation titled David's Trust Issues and sent it to his entire contact list. The photos spoke for themselves. His wife crying over her father's casket. His wife helping her frail mother into a car. His wife looking absolutely destroyed by grief while some creep captured it all for $150 an hour. But I wasn't done. I found the private investigator's business page and left a detailed Google review with photos attached. 5 stars, actually. Excellent service. My husband hired this firm to stalk me during my father's cancer treatment and funeral. Very thorough documentation of my grief. Highly recommend if you want strangers taking pictures of you at your lowest moments. Professional quality photos of my emotional breakdown. The review went viral in our small town. Local news picked it up. Husband hires PI to spy on grieving wife, made the evening broadcast. David came home to find his bags packed on the porch and the locks changed. His mother was sitting in her car in our driveway, waiting to have words with her son about respecting his wife during family tragedies. Sarah, this is insane. You're destroying my reputation over a misunderstanding. A misunderstanding. He was still calling it a misunderstanding. The only thing I'm destroying is the illusion that you're a decent human being. His accounting firm put his partnership on hold pending reputation management. His family barely spoke to him for months. The local country club quietly asked him to resign his membership after other wives complained about feeling unsafe around someone who hired investigators to spy on grieving spouses. The divorce was swift. My lawyer used the investigator's report as evidence of David's controlling behavior and paranoia. I got the house, half his retirement, and a generous alimony payment. Turns out judges don't look kindly on husbands who stalk their wives during family medical emergencies. David married his secretary 8 months after our divorce was final. I heard through the grapevine that he makes her share her location 24/7 and checks her phone every night. Some men never learn. I'm remarried now to a wonderful man who held my hand at my mother's bedside when she passed last year. No investigators. No suspicions. Just love and support when I needed it most. The investigator went out of business 6 months after my Google review. Turns out people don't want to hire someone whose work ends up as evidence in divorce proceedings and local news stories. Sometimes I drive past the cemetery where Dad's buried and think about that awful day. How one moment of catching that photographer changed everything. Dad always taught me to stand up for myself. I think he would have been proud of how I handled his memory being disrespected. Trust isn't something you can investigate or photograph or document in a 47-page report. It's something you either have or you don't. David chose suspicion over love, paranoia over partnership. I chose freedom over fear. Have you experienced something like this? Tell me in the comments.